Tyler Belan, tell me about how martial arts relates to business.
I think the biggest thing is discipline. And I've seen way too many people get out of this business because they can't be disciplined even in the little things in life. So setting a schedule first and foremost. I have my stuff broken down and I failed miserably this week doing that. If I go off that path, I'll just be another one of the numbers, honestly. There's so many different things. Hey, you want to go on a coffee date? Wind that in. Oh, that coffee date turns into 4 hours and you're not focusing on what you're supposed to be doing. The discipline that I've always gone back to came back from martial arts. And one of the stories I think about the most is that photo I just showed you, right? I got into the gym. I wanted to be disciplined. I had nothing at that time because I was so confused where my life was going. All my friends are at core group of friends from church. One's in Spokane, 2 are in Seattle. It's like I had to hustle even to just see them, right? My life was just, I'm at home in Marysville and at that time, the shitty town that I don't want to be in, and everyone else is doing big things except me. So I remember that day. I was at Everett Community College. I was riding my bike because I didn't even have a car at that time. I literally ride my bike across the trestle and stuff.
Crazy.
So I'm like, from here to there, it's I don't know how long. It would take me probably 30, 35 minutes. And it didn't matter if it was rain, sleet, or snow. I would get there because the education and everything was important to me. I remember riding my bike and running into Charlie's Combat Club on Hewitt, still there today. And I went, dude, I need to be in here. I don't have my football, wrestling, and track from high school anymore. So this is my new home. I'd spend literally 30 to 40 hours a week there. I'd spend more time there than I did on my education.
So you definitely could beat me up.
Maybe at that time. That's when I was 19. I'm 30. One of the humbling things here, let's go off a little track again here. Humbling things is when I came back from Thailand, I was like, dude, I need to get back into the martial arts gym because that's who I am. I love the discipline. I was tagging this guy pretty good. So first guy, probably hitting a little too hard, just like you were talking about earlier. It's we don't want to hurt people, but it felt good to connect finally and just go, okay, my shots are working. They don't know they're coming. There's little arrogance, I think, came up. 17-year-old kid, right? Wearing those little puffy gloves. So you don't, it's not the full on MMA gloves. It has puffy outside so you can still grapple and everything. 17 years old. I'm just trying to keep him away because he's shifty and everything. I'm 18 years, I guess, really makes a difference. He arm bars me, bends my arm back, boom, pop. Right now, even to this day, it's been a month and it still hurts. And I'm like, man, I'm getting old.
Wow.
Next thing, my coach, Chris, who was the one that told me to do it, I did to that in that fight. It's dude, just take him down. Just focus on that and you'll be able to win the fight. Instead, we're throwing haymakers for 3 rounds and I get knocked out with 20 seconds left in the fight. I'm sparring him. He's just calm as a clam because he's a professional fighter in China. He's gone to all over the world. One little knee, boom, right to the rib. I still have a floating rib right here that I need to focus on healing up. So it's when you take your focus off the little things and you don't do the things that are meant to build your business up, you're going to fail 100% of the time. You have to have that consistency. You have to have that drive. You have to get in there and figure out what your schedule and what your life looks like. Because if not, you're just going to flow out of the business like everybody else.
Well, you say practice is so important because that's the consistency. That's the reps. What's practice for your business? What do you do to put in the reps to serve your clients?
I think it's changed a lot, and I think it's just moving and flowing with things and needing to adapt to the culture of things. Obviously, you've talked about YouTube for a long time. You've been doing it for 20 years plus now, right? And you've given me little seeds that I've planted, but I never acted on them because I'm I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to learn from people in the office, which is great. But things are always changing. AI, all this kind of stuff is changing. What I'm doing now is being more educational because with competence comes confidence. Now that I have that competence, I can speak to these things a lot better. So what I do to my clients is I put them in front of more people through marketing strategies. So more eyes get on it. It's just more reps kind of thing. More eyes get on it means more opportunities. More opportunities means more people see the house. More people see the house means more people come into the house. More people that come into the house lead to potentially multiple offers, which then we can utilize to get more money for their house. Mm-hmm. That's the goal. for most people that I've noticed. Most amount of money, least amount of time. Let's close up shop and go on to our next adventure.
What are other lessons you learned from martial arts that's helped you in your business?
This story is crazy, and this is what led me to Thailand. And it comes down to hustle is what it was. So in 2009, my coach Landon Showalter was at Charlie's Combat Club, and then he opened up AKA, which is
in Arlington.
Yep. Landon and I are like family now. I love that guy. Super busy. After this is just reminding me I need to call him. And I owe a lot to Landon. I owe a lot to Charlie. I owe a lot to Chris Garcia. All my coaches. I owe a lot to you. Like everything is intermixed. That's a unique circle of people to surround yourself with. So I remember I was at his gym. I switched specifically to AKA because Landon was the first Muay Thai champion in Washington State. So I'm like, if I want to be the best, I need to learn from the best. I appreciate what Charlie had done for me, but he's not a Muay Thai fighter. Landon is. So he picks up this book one day and he goes, hey, this is called The Fighter's Heart. Basically the synopsis of that book was this guy named Sam Sheridan had saved up 30 grand from being on a fishing boat. And he goes, I'm going to blow all this money on experiences. I'm going to go to the Midwest and learn how to wrestle. I'm going to go to the Philippines and learn how to stick fight. I'm going to go to Thailand and learn Muay Thai. So I'm reading through this book and I'm like, this no joke is the second most important book in my life. The Bible's number 1, Fighter's Heart number 2. So 2009, social media wasn't where it was at this time, right? So I'm trying to track him down and my mind just clicks and I went, dude, I'm going to start calling every single one of the gyms in there that he went to and someone's going to call me back. I guarantee it.
Sam?
Yeah. Because I can't find him. He's not on social media really. He's got one blog and it was like really shitty. No contact information. And so I get this call one day. Hey, Tyler, this is Virgil Hunter. I don't know how the hell you got my number, but call me back. Click. Virgil Hunter didn't want his number to get out because he trained Andre Ward, one of the best boxers ever in the world. I call him, maybe like 2 or 3 rings. Ding, ding, ring. Hey, Virgil, this is Tyler Belan calling you back. How's it going? Hey, Tyler, how'd you get my number? I said, Virgil, I didn't get your number. You called me.
How did he call you?
I called the gym. And so he called from the gym and called me back.
Oh my gosh.
He goes, how the hell did you get my number?
Yeah.
And so I said, So I said, I didn't get your number, Virgil. You called me. And he goes, well, I need you to delete it. And I said, okay, I just ask him one favor. I can't find where Sam Sheridan's contact info is at. Can I get his number, please? Yeah. So anyways, he gives it to me. He goes, all right, delete my number. Of course, I didn't delete it. I want that number, dude. That's one of the top trainers in the world. I want that number. It's in my book. It's on a little piece of paper. I should have brought that. Dang it. Anyways, literally one ring. I call Sam Sheridan. I said, hey, Sam Sheridan, I was super inspired by your book. I have saved money to go to Thailand. This was 2009. I was, hustling, just washing cars, doing whatever to make sure that I could spend at least 6 months over there. And at that time, it would only have cost about $4,000 to make that happen with flights, food, everything, and just basically live at a gym. He goes, yeah, dude, well, I'm not living on the East Coast anymore, so I don't know how we're going to meet. I'm living in Vancouver, Canada, writing my second book. I went, fucking A, I will drive up there and I'll see you this weekend. So my buddy had just so happened to be having his bachelor party. I, that night, was sipping drinks just to be part of it, knowing that I could meet this guy in the morning. So I got up. We went to this little place called Cafe Artigiano. We sat there for 2.5 hours. He just goes, dude, you got to be in the best shape of your life. These Thais are going to kick the shit out of you if you don't. Even if you go there in the best shape of your life, these guys are just built different. They start when they're 5. They peak when they're 16, 17.
Wow.
And a lot of these guys, by that time, already, Bulakau is the top fighter right now. He's on the end of his career. He has over 400 fights. 400 fights. So these guys just beat the shit out of each other. They're kicking trees down. Their shins are just beat to hell. So I was doing that stuff too. I was taking a glass bottle with oil and rubbing it down my shins to make callousing on my shins to make it harder to kick. I was taking a wet rag and slapping my leg to kill the nerve endings because I was going to go out there and I was going to fight. So kept that relationship with Sam, getting ready to go 2 weeks away from going. Boom, I tear my ACL. I don't get to go at all. So my dreams are crushed.
You tore your ACL here in Washington.
Right. I'm just like, what the hell, dude? Like, I don't, yeah, I don't have like, my passion's just been killed. Like that was my goal. And that's the problem. That's why it didn't work out. Cause that was my goal. My faith was kind of slipping a little bit at that time. You flip that forward now, go to 2014. I was getting out of college. I was like, dude, when was I happiest? And it was when I was serving people and doing my short-term mission trips throughout high school. So I joined this organization called YWAM, Youth with a Mission, moved to Kona, Hawaii. And I moved there specifically because there was this guy that was working on projects with anti-trafficking of humans. His name's Phil Cunningham, still one of my favorite people, little jokester Canadian, lives in Kalispell, Montana right now. But anyways, we did life together there. I'd spend time there, and then I'd spend about 6 months overseas. And then I ended up, spending about 2.5, 3 years roughly over in Thailand and Cambodia doing this stuff. So the redemptive quality of this for me and the hustle is I thought I was supposed to do one thing, but God went, no, you're supposed to fight for something different. Fast forward now, I've had all these chats with Sam. We've continued to stay in touch. I called him again in 2022 and I was at an airport. We caught up for like an hour. Later that year, I flew to California and met him in Santa Monica, California. Just like, dude, I know you're living a crazy life because that's how you do it. What are you doing now? He goes, well, I work for CNN. I make like $500K a year. I'm like, that's decent salary. He's like, yeah, but I'm not the breadwinner. He goes, my wife is. I said, okay, who's your wife? He goes, oh, she produced Wonder Woman, the highest grossing Marvel movie to date. I'm like, okay.
Isn't she one of the most successful directors, female directors? Wow.
Nuts.
Crazy.
Nuts. And he goes, hey, Ty, I brought you to this specific place on this beach because this is where I wrote book number 1 and book number 2. Book number 2 and book number 3. He goes, right over there is where my kid would run around. He's got an 18-year-old kid now. At that time, obviously, this is a while ago. And we just chatted, and he goes, I'd really like it if we'd stay in touch. Fast forward to last week, we're talking, and he goes, dude, what are you up to? And he goes, I'm coming to the end of my journey working in Nova Scotia, filming and stuff, and then I'm going to Uganda. I'm like, why are you going to Uganda? He goes, I don't know. Buddy told me that I should go there, so I'm going to go hang out.
With his wife?
Just by himself. His wife's directing stuff and doing whatever. It's just like sporadic life.
Yeah.
And so I said, hey, can I be a little bit bold here? And he goes, yeah, shoot, man. He goes, I think you should rewrite The Fighter's Heart from your perspective. Go back to Thailand and rewrite it. Go to those gyms that you went to, because it's now commercialized and stuff, because I just want to see what your vision is for that and what that looks like. I said, here's the thing I'm going to ask a favor on now, however. I want to go with you. I can speak Thai. I can speak 50% now. By the time we do this in 2027, I'll be fluent. I already know that. I'm putting in the work to make sure that happens.
Your wife is Thai?
Yes. So anyways, I said, I'm going to write from the anti-trafficking perspective. I'm going to show you the areas that I went through. We're going to go to the areas and we're going to combine and make a book. And he goes, oh my God, that's such a good idea. I haven't been to Thailand in over 20 years. I'm like, well, things have changed just a little bit, dude. So all that to say, it's just like, it's crazy how that story's unfolded, because I already know in my mind that that book's going to come out. It's a matter of now just like pushing forward and making sure that happens. There's always been that hustle. There's always been that discipline. There's always been that. When I went there, that was the first thing I did with my team. Is like, our team meetings would be at 9 a.m. I'd be up at 6 so I could go do Muay Thai for 2 hours, build that discipline and roll that into my day, because that was my dream beforehand. And it's crazy how during that time, there's this cute little girl that was a translator, and that cute little girl is my wife now of 8 years. All that was meant to be because I was already set up. For me, it's God. It's the process of things. People can believe whatever they want. For me, that was already set up in the plan that God had for me. And so, in 2016, it's interesting how this turned out, because I came back home, and or I wanted to move back home. Didn't want to be a missionary anymore. I knew my purpose was to marry this girl. I'd already been told that. And my dad goes, hey, I don't want you to come home. You chose to go down this missionary life. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't get to come home back to
2016?
Yeah, 2016. And so he gets, within like 48 hours, he had a change of heart, and he goes, hey, here's what I need you to do. I'm going to set you up. You're going to be home for a week, but then you're going on a fishing boat to Alaska and you're going to earn your keep. It's interesting how Sam and I kind of have that same parallel. During that time, I busted my butt, and all I wanted to do is have enough to have a ring and travel and go back to Thailand as soon as possible. So busted my butt, made that happen. One of the worst fishing seasons they've ever had. I was like, I'm going to walk out of here with like $30,000, I guess was in my mind, because that's what the book taught me. I walked away with 3 months with like $5,000.
Wow.
I had enough to barely buy the ring and spend 3 months in Thailand with.
Well, you got the ring.
Yeah, exactly. And I got the girl. That was the most important.
There you go. Who cares about the ring?
Yeah.
But you did train in Muay Thai, right?
Correct.
In Thailand.
Yep.
Because you said you tore your ACL. When did you go do that? What year was that?
That was 2009. I tore my ACL and had it repaired. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when did you go to train in Muay Thai? What year to what year?
2015 is I was there. So it was like I was flip-flopping between Kona and Thailand, but then I spent lots of time in Thailand.
Yeah.
So basically from 2015 to 2017, I was consistently over there training in Cambodia and Thailand.
Got it. And you're training with these tree cookers.
Oh, dude. I mean, most humbling thing ever. Yeah. Especially when these kids are like 17 and taking out your legs and you feel like your knee's going to rip again. Yeah. You know, I was always worried about that because I'd already torn my ACL. There's no mercy. The Thais spar at 100%. They don't They don't spar when they do pads. It's at 130,000%. You know, it's like,
oh really?
When they're just kicking through the bag. That was the biggest thing. It's like, think kicking through. Right. You're not punching the bag. You're punching through to hit that item over there. Right. And so everything is super aggressive. Muay Thai, if you knock someone out at the gym, it's like, okay, well, that happened. Probably not the best thing, but that's how they've done it. And that's their cultural thing. It's the national sport. That's how they teach each other. So it's, you get tough real quick because you get humbled real quick. And that's why I love martial arts. There's always going to be someone better than you. 100%. You could have the best training in the world. There's always going to be someone better than you.
And so how does that relate to how you treat your business, how you run your business, how you even run your day?
Sure. Being ultra disciplined and making sure that the little things come into my business and there's no distractions. If I tell myself from 9 to 12, I'm going to lead gen, I'm going to do that. I don't care what else is going on. I don't care if I have tickets to go to the Mariners game. I have to protect that time because that's what's going to bring me to my next step and my next goals. My goals are way bigger than staying in Marysville. This is my area of expertise in the area that I love and the community that I've been part of for 32 years. However, I do have a wife that's Thai that is courageous, and I owe her time with her family too. So when I'm thinking about bigger thinking and the discipline, I have to have discipline to get her to her goals as well. When I got into this marriage and realized what she needed, it's a sacrificial thing that we have to have as being fathers, husbands, and all that. And I think that's what I realized the most. She took a risk on me, courage to drive or to fly 7,500 miles to come live with me and go, hey, he's going to provide for me. So if I don't do those little things discipline-wise that I learned through martial arts, through life, through the people, the experiences, I'm going to be a failure like everyone else. That's where my mind goes immediately. So you have to lock in. It's literally, I've got things broken down right now where it's like 5:30, get up, read my Bible for 10 minutes, stretch for 10 minutes, out the door by X amount of time. And if anything throws a loop in that, I just feel so off. The difference is I have to be flexible with a 15-month-old too. So I'm trying my best to stay on course too. I'm not a perfect person, but if I'm making purposeful progress instead of focusing on perfection, I know that things are going to flow better. People will always make excuses to not start something, right? I've made plenty of excuses to not get in this room with you, right? As long as you're moving the needle forward and doing those things that are important in a disciplined manner, and that for me has come from martial arts. That is how I need to run my life and my business so I can serve people the best. If I don't do that, I'm going to be sloppy. I'm going to be lazy. I mean, one thing I think about too, and I think this is a perspective from a friend of mine. It's like, if you were to be lined up in a row of individuals, are you going to choose this guy, or this guy? I'm like, what do you mean by that? He goes, well, I'm 6'4". I've got a gut, hanging out and everything. He's like, you're a good looking guy, but your confidence isn't there. Who, are they going to choose you? No, they're going to choose the person that they connect with most. And one of my things is physical fitness. And I think that's super important. Do you want to choose the guy that has energy, or do you want to choose the guy? I did this drill with my wife the other day. Hey babe, I'm going to go into the listening appointment. You tell me which one you like the best. Hey, my name's Tyler Belan. I'm here to sell your house. I really want what's best for you. And let's focus on getting this sold. Let's sign the paperwork. Does that sound good? Or does, hey, my name's Tyler Belan. I'm here to learn about your real estate goals because I want what's best for you. I want you to have whatever it is out of this session, and I want you to be able to move forward knowing in confidence that this is what life is going to, where your life is going to look for afterwards.
Yeah. 100%. You know what bothers me a lot now that I'm back into Taekwondo? Hopefully this doesn't see the light of day. Out of shape, overweight black belts.
Where's the discipline now? Yeah.
You know, when you earn your black belt,
yep,
there's an expectation that you always uphold a standard for yourself, because you never know when there's going to be a younger person or a student that, regardless of their age, will look up to you, right? So what are they looking up to if you don't take care of yourself? You know, everybody has like a reason why, but it's funny. It doesn't take a lot to at least be in shape.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like your prime. It's interesting hearing these guys be hitting their prime at 16 and 17, you know, because I try to explain to people when I was in Taekwondo, old, so they call it the ultra division, or like the golden division, which is crazy. Okay. It starts at 30 and I'm 42 right now. Isn't that crazy? So, but there's no excuse. Like I keep in shape. So when I got back into Taekwondo, I was ready to go. There was like no transition. Okay. I wasn't at my like peak fighting style or rhythm or even like capabilities, but in terms of my endurance and my conditioning, I was ready to go. I was kind of proud of that. Yeah. Right. Yep. I didn't skip a beat. So when I see this, I'm like, kind of bothers me a little bit. It's funny. Well, this is one of the only things I judge another human on, right? But it's because that black belt means something, at least the way I get it, because we're Kukin 1 certified. Okay, so tell me about this. How has travel and understanding cultures led to an abundance in your real estate business?
Sure. I think just having the different perspective is super important for me. Living overseas, I've had the gift of being able to travel to lots of places. Realistically, like since 2005 has been like the first time that I went overseas just to do like short-term mission trips and everything. But it like planted the bug in my system, like that this is important. Like it always comes full circle for me. It just sometimes takes a lot longer. So when you understand what people do and the way they do things, it's funny seeing this through my wife, right? Because sometimes she goes, dude, you're way more Asian than I am at this point. Like I cook things better than
Such
her.
a white guy thing to be. More Asian than like an Asian person.
Right. It's like, I want to be the best at things. I don't want to be the guy that's just like, I will openly fail because I enjoy failing. And that's how you can learn things. So the first time I made this dish called somtam, which is like,
love it. It's one of my favorites.
Way too much fish sauce, way too much whatever, but you perfect those things and you eventually get the right rhythm and stuff. When you understand the cultural divide on various things and you understand the purpose for doing various things, okay, the Thai lady I think of on the side of the street that made the best somtam ever, now I look at that differently. I go, she used this amount for this amount. I'm watching the ingredients, and when I brought that back, I perfected it now because I'm focusing and looking at what she did. Additionally, with that, the biggest thing that I saw was I need to be able to speak to them because they enjoy that. They know that I'm diving into the culture. And I think just a thing for me too, like jokingly, is like, I don't want my wife and my daughter to be speaking in Thai and me not understanding, and then them running the house and running me out of the house.
It's a fear of all white men that marry an Asian woman. I can say this because my dad's Irish and my mom's Japanese.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those funny things. Like This morning before I even got here, I was on a Thai lesson for an hour with this gal in Phuket that I hired. Like, it is ingrained in me. This is my family now. Like, it's me and my sister on this side of things, and then my two parents. My wife's the youngest of 9. When we were over in Thailand for the last 10 weeks from October to January, in a like 20 by 20 room, we had 43 people. Her family is massive.
Wow.
Massive. It's like, I want to be part of that even more. It's like, I want to learn stories. I want to learn people. So when you understand, when you're coming back to that question, when you understand how people function and you understand why they do certain things, that's the most important thing. When you go up to a Thai person, you why them. And depending how old they are is where your hands go. Who do you think is going to get the business if I'm walking through the door? Is it going to be someone that goes, hey, this is what we're going to do, da-da-da? Or is it going to be the person that takes the time, understands the culture, walks through things? I saw this in Japan too when I was there. I was getting up in the morning and observing things, right? I'd get my coffee at 6 and I'd just walk around for like 2 hours so that my wife and my baby could sleep. The little things that scared me was the first time I walked through a Starbucks and they were like, arigato, like super aggressively. I'm like, caught me off guard, right? And then as we were like going through different parts of Japan, it's just like you could see the bowing, you could see the thing. You've got the touristy parts, right? But then you have those special moments where you're like in Kyoto and you're looking out like the bonsai trees and everything, and the person's just like, it was special. It was just like you saw the culture truly come out of just I always saw Japan. It was my number one country to go to, just like the respect culture of things. Where Tokyo was just like all the businessmen are rushing onto the trains. There was no time to do anything. Probably the most phone addicted culture in my life. But that also like, go ahead.
Oh, because on the train, that's what you see.
Dude, everyone's on their phones. So my mind went to, okay, that's why I started a travel TikTok, because I said, I'm going to take advantage of this and hopefully get paid off of this. They're on their phones like this for 3 hours a day. I might as well get part of the algorithm. So another persona I've always had is the time zone traveler. That was my wife for years has told me to do a TikTok. And I went, nah, I'm going to stick to Instagram and Facebook. That was the most eye-opening thing. First video, 700 views. Second video, 700 views. Third video, 43.7K views. And I went, oh, this hit. Now I can relate this into my business. Going back to the cultural things, when you understand how people function, you understand how they eat. Like, one of the things I think that bugs me the most about American society is we're just like, we can't make time for each other. It's so hard to like sit down. I go to Thailand. It's like we're all sitting on the floor. We've got like 30 different dishes and we're just in community with each other for 2 to 3 hours. There's no timelines. You have your drinks. You got everyone's talking story. And then we go about our days after that, or we don't. We continue it through the night. Those are my favorite times, is when you're sitting down with people. This correlates to business because if you can't take the time with people to learn their stories and learn their culture, you're probably going to miss out on different opportunities. And that's where I'm going to swoop in and steal it from you. That's where I promise I will swoop in it from you, because I will better understand that. My background's Slavic too. You keep on calling me Belan, right? You're saying it right.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Belan.
Right? But that's a thing too. It's like one of my biggest things when I was overseas too was we would go to like the onsens there, right? I was like, man, I forgot about that for years. We've got a banya right here in Everett.
I know. It's cool.
Right?
Been there once.
Yeah. I go there like almost every Friday or every Saturday just because it's cheaper, right? Those people are my people. Those are my Slavic roots people. So it's like little things. There's connectivity there. I've become a familiar face there. There's businessmen there, right? We all talk because we're just chilled out and we just are able to have that time to just chat about whatever. People go to the banya for different reasons. Some of there's a real estate attorney there that I met, and he's stressed out because he's going through all these cases, and that 3-hour time frame for him is just to like let it all go so he can go home and be at peace. Some people there are trying to lose weight. Some people are there just because they want to see their friends, and that's a meetup spot. For me, learning the little things, not saying it in Slavic, but in Ukrainian and Russian, because that's what the spas ran. I've built already like relationships there just by learning simple words. When you learn who people are and you understand the cultures on things, you will do better in business. I promise you. And if you can't grasp that, you're going to do what everybody else is doing, and you're going to be phased out of the business. You got to be creative. If you can't be creative, if you don't have a creative mind, either figure out a way to be creative, figure out what your talents are and hit on that. If not, exiting right now is probably the best thing for you.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's kind of what, so it's funny. A Bible is my number one book, but my number two, and I think you can always tell a lot about a person by their number two book, is How to Win Friends and Influence People. Yep. And the very first chapter is, your name is the most beautiful word in the dictionary or whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But learning about a person, listening to them, and then better relating to them, or in your case, understanding their culture, how they think, how they live. And you don't have to become that, right? Even though you're saying you're more Thai than Thai man. But the idea of that initial connection, that they feel like they can at least like relate to you a little bit, or that you understand them,
right?
And then that helps build the connection or the bridge to whatever else. That's like my whole life for anything, and that's why I don't travel that much, but I love history. I love reading about different cultures and geopolitics and understanding their foods. I think I do that a lot through food. Like it's actually my number one go-to. Any culture. So I talk about like taxi cab conversations. We know that a lot of people that drive Ubers and taxis are from different countries, right? Like even if you're an American, you are from a different country probably, right? So it's clear, like they have accents. Like, so where are you from, right? What original? So this is a little trick of mine. No matter what country, I have a food that I'll talk about that I love. Right?
There you go.
And if I don't know their food, I'll talk about like the ingredients in that food. Okay. So like, okay, here's a good example. Here's like two different examples.
Sure.
So sumtam, right? Sumtam
Yep.
is the cucumber salad, right? With
That's
the peppers.
a papaya.
Papaya salad. So
it.
what's sumtam? Tell me about sumtam again.
It's green papaya.
Oh, yeah. So exactly.
Yep.
I like the Laos one better.
Okay.
That's my jam.
Okay.
I know you're like
We won't invite you
Cambodian over
then.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
But they use like the mudfish. They use even
So
more.
it's like fermented, the paste.
Oh, yeah.
They use like the gnarly one that Laos people. Okay. So like if you're a Lao.
Bupala. It's called bupala.
Oh, exactly.
Yep.
So they like to use that in theirs, right? It's a little bit more gnarly.
Yep.
If I say that,
Yeah.
they're immediately like, "What? You like that too?" Like, especially Lao people, because they're not as popular in terms of pop culture, understanding. And one of my good friends growing up was, and I was like, "Oh yeah," and I love sticky rice and the green bean salad and everything. And we would eat on the floor, like they're just like eating up, no pun intended. Okay. Now on the flip side, like say Russian person, same thing.
Okay.
A food to relate to them, but I'm actually not that familiar with Russian food, and I don't want to be fake and act like okay, but I know how to say apple in Russian. It's yabloko, right?
I don't even know that.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so everyone's eating an apple, but I know how to say it in Russian, so immediately they're like, "Oh, really?" I was like, and then I go down all my Russian words, right? I had a Russian friend in high school, Yablika, babushka, that's grandma, privyet. So like I say all those things. Again, build the connection, and then immediately they'll just tell you everything.
Oh, dude.
And they'll just talk, right?
100%.
No, so I agree. It's like it's a really good like philosophy.
What's funny is that my comfort foods come from that. Obviously, we were talking about that earlier about the bloodline. I went to Babushka on State Street last night.
Yeah.
I loaded up on borscht, which is like one of the soup dishes, dumplings, sour cream, dill, fish, like smoked trout. That's kind of the line
You
of things.
bought all that there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it like Russian branded stuff? Like they're
Ukrainian.
Okay, so like is a sour cream like from?
Oh, dude, and it's the best because it's full fat.
Oh my
It's like the right stuff.
So it's different.
Oh,
It's not like
way
what you get at Walmart, huh?
Yeah, Walmart.
And then what'd you do?
It's in my, well, I'm going to go to my banya. So right now I'm building my own in the back. I've got a sauna already ready to go that rips at like 210 degrees. put on my little hat, look like a little garden gnome. And I'll probably just throw, at some point today when things calm down, I'll have my meats, my cheeses. I'll have my dumplings with fresh dill and sour cream. I'll have borscht soup, and then I'll have my pickled fish, and then like sauerkraut and stuff like that. These are all the things, again, for my bloodline. Those are the comfort foods for me, and it makes sense because that's where my bloodline comes from. That Slavic hard, and you look at that too, which is interesting. I know we're going on a little bit of a path here, but those foods are like super dense in nutrition and had to be. But
totally,
it's the poor food is what it was. They couldn't afford to do those things, so they're like, okay, we're gonna make things out of flour and put some potatoes in it because that's what we have.
And they work hard, so they need the calories.
Exactly. So it's interesting, like running that back and going, this is the poor food, but this is the best shit that's out there right now.
Yeah, and then especially if you talk about that too, it's like all these Americans will always want to diet and cut cholesterol, low calorie, but if they only knew, it's funny. Yeah, my diet, it's like I'll eat whatever. Okay, tell me about this.
Sure.
Tell me about how the little hustles as a kid created the foundation for life in real estate now.
Oh, dude, this is one of my favorite stories to tell because my dad would teach me in certain ways. And it was figuring out like kind of pain points, I think was the best way. My dad was not abusive. It wasn't anything like that. It was, hey, if you want something, you're going to work hard for it. I'm not just going to give it to you. So one of my favorite stories to tell on this is all my friends had an N64 as a kid. I go over to my buddy Peter's house. We'd play N64, Pokemon Stadium, Zelda, all that kind of stuff, right? And I was like, oh, dude, I want one. So I remember coming home one day. I'm like, Dad, I want an N64. Can you please buy me one? And he goes, no, I can't buy you one. He says, what I can do, however, is I can get you a job. And if you work there, you can earn your keep, essentially. I'm like, I don't want it. He goes, okay. Hey, Dad, when can I get the N64? I gave you an opportunity. Do you want to take me up on it? No, I don't want to take you up on it. Hey, Dad, I want an N64. Cool. Here's the opportunity. Do you want to do it? Fine, I'll do it. That first opportunity, I remember, it was my first job as a kid. I was maybe like 10, probably like 10 or 11. My dad would drive me up to this farm in Arlington. There was like 12 bloodhounds. So you'd roll up this gravel road and you're rolling up inside there and you look to the left and it was literally this shed that was covered. And outside there was like, I want to say like 30 or 40 goats. And there was shit that was this thick inside there. And my dad goes, you're going to go in that barn and you're going to scrape all that out of there until it's done. And I went, oh my God, this is the worst job in the world. But it allowed me to buy that N64. That was one piece of it. The next thing was, hey, Dad, I've earned X amount of dollars at that time. I mean, I can't even think about how much an N64 is at that time. I don't know.
$250?
Can't be that much. Really? At like in 2000? Anyways,
Wait, what year was it?
Would have been like, I was 10, 2000.
Look it up.
So the next thing was, hey, I don't have enough money to buy this yet. Cool.
It's $100 in 2000.
Okay. There we go. Now those are selling for way more, right? Because it's like I should have kept that thing.
Crazy.
Should have just kept that as a piece to put in my office like this as a memory. Next thing was, hey, Dad, I still don't have enough money to buy it. And he goes, cool, here's a gas can and here's a lawnmower. Oh, I don't want to go talk to people. I don't want to try and okay. Here's a gas can and a lawnmower. Okay, finally have the courage to go start going down that block, pushing that lawnmower up this. I mean, I don't know if you know, well, you know Marysville enough. Of course you know it. Go down, take a right where Blockbuster used to be. Go down there, Crystal Heights, Strawberry Hills, head up into there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's where my dad bought our first house here. $150,000, paid it off in 15 years. Crazy. That hill is literally like this. And so that, in my mind, I was like, dude, I'm not going to do this. No way. Eventually, I wanted that N64. So I put started the grind, would knock on doors. First time, fail, big, huge fail. Just like, oh, I don't want to do this. Go on the next door. Yeah, you can mow our lawn. It's just like it built the confidence. I got out there, started building the confidence. Door knocking. Door knocking for me is easy because I've already done it. After that, hey, Dad, I ran out of gas. I need more gas for this. And he goes, cool. How much money did you make today? I said, $30. He goes, cool. Gas is at that time was $3 or $4 to fill a can or something like that. Actually, probably less than that, right? For a gallon. Maybe let's call it $2. He goes, all right, I'll drive you down there to fill up your gas can. I'm like, yeah, but then I'm losing money today. And he goes, well, that's business. You have to be able to put money into that to better understand what your true profits are. So through all of these little lessons and stuff, how this story ends is there was a pawn shop that used to be down there where the Sherwin-Williams is now. It was called Pawn Exchange, I believe.
Oh, Sherwin-Williams in Marysville?
Yeah.
Oh,
right
I didn't know
State
that
Street.
was a pawn shop.
Yep.
Huh.
That's where I walked in there. And you know what's crazy? That summer, I bought my N64. I walked in there with my cash. They gave you at this time a little scratch card, and they said whatever is on the scratch card is what your percentage you're going to get off. I, at that time, got 15% off. I remember this. And my total was $64.60 for an N64.
You should have known then when I said $250 about how much an N64 would cost.
Well, I got the discount one, though, because I didn't want to buy the brand new one.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, but still, discount, like, I was way off. Not even close.
$250.
Yeah. And then, so how does that translate to how you think, how you do business, and just how you
Sure.
run things now?
Just you got to do whatever it takes. I was door knocking 2 years ago in the snow, and people are like, what the hell are you doing outside? And it's like, I have a client I need to take care of. I need to get as many people's eyes on this as possible. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that their house gets sold in a market that's not very good right now. So I'm out there freezing my buns off, and I didn't care. Started layering a little bit more and learning through that. But again, it goes back to just like remembering those things as a kid. It's like, I will do whatever it takes to get X. Now it's like, I will do whatever it takes to get bigger thinking items. I will go out there and door knock. I will do the hard things I didn't want to do. Even get in on video, 5 years ago was like, I actually should probably go back and look at that. I was just like stuttering the whole time. I don't know what to do. But as you do it, you do those push-ups, do those reps. Mm-hmm. You talked about this earlier. My buddy Lance, Lance Otto, right? He talks about things in a baseball perspective because that's his thing. You talk about kicks because that's a martial arts perspective. His biggest thing, in teaching was like, hey, we're going to do grounders every day. Coach, we want to switch it up. We don't want to do grounders. We want to go hit home runs. Cool. Let's go hit home runs. We're starting with grounders. We're going to continue to do those reps because that's important. And I've seen that in his family and his lifestyle, like come to fruition and stuff. I take that like you from a martial arts perspective. It's like, I want to have a heavier kick. Cool. Well, why are you boxing right now? You need to kick the bags. Well, that hurts. Well, that sucks. You said you wanted to kick better, right? Well, start kicking. Hit a bag, bruise your shin up a little bit, toughen up and move forward. It's interesting how the parallels of that have come into fruition in my life and continue to, because having that discipline, having that strength, doing the hard things that other people won't do is how you last in the business and how you better serve your clients moving forward on things. If you can't have that discipline, if you can't move that forward, if you can't just seriously get out of the business. I'm not trying to be a dick at all here, but you're not serving your clients well. Oh, I see this all the time too. It's like, I have my aunt that sold, I'm like, when's the last time your aunt sold a house though? Like, how's she going to represent you well when the last time she sold a house was 4 years ago waiting for your call? She's not focusing on the market. She doesn't have your best interests in mind. You're going to her because she's relatable. So how do we get to this point where you're relatable, but also doing the right thing for your clients moving forward? And for me, it's being disciplined and making sure that I'm focused on the right things within my business so that I can best serve them and understand what the goals are. All of it relates to just basic discipline, martial arts, football, whatever you want to, there's so many different things. For me, martial arts always sticks in the back of my mind though. You take that right hook to the jaw a few times. I do that a lot in my business. I take a right hook to the jaw by doing the wrong thing. But as long as you can move forward and not get knocked out.
Or you remember to move
exactly.
next time. Tell me about this little town called Marysville.
Little town of Marysville, man. Just it's this place that's continued to expand for me, but it's where I'm from. And it's like, I've talked about this a lot with you already and said this to people. And it's like, dude, I remember always in high school and stuff, it's like, why do we have to live in this shitty farm town of Marysville where things are not growing? You know, you go to Mukilteo to play football and they got the nice field and everything. Kamiak, everyone's got the nice gear. We've got all this beat up gear. I'm like, why the hell am I in this area? And I'm like, I'm in here because this is where my dad set up the roots and everything. Our story doesn't begin, you know, right now. It began with my dad working for Twofold Nursery, and he was moved us from California to Oregon to Washington, basically worked up the West Coast. The reason we ended in Marysville is because, actually, I don't remember the exact reason, but that house that we lived in for 27 years over here in Marysville was on the top of the hill, had a decent view. But my dad still to this day talks about how he hated living there because he didn't like the split level and there was no view at that time. He had to punch out a window to look at the Olympics. And it's like, for them moving here, that house was a place of stability and stuff like that. What was the question again? Jeez Louise.
This little town of Marysville.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Thank you.
Tell me how it was a springboard
Sure.
for what the world has to offer.
Sure. I think as I get older and get more introspective about things, and I think a lot of that comes from being a father now, it's like you realize how important life is. And I think that the biggest gifts that I can think of in being here in Marysville is like, this was the town that we were so involved in, extrally involved because my dad was a teacher here too. And there was pros to that because there was times where I struggled in life and my dad would write teachers behind my back, which I didn't know, saying, hey, Tyler's not doing so well right now. He's, got depression or whatever like that. On the flip side, it was, if I did some dumb shit at school, it was, hey, the direct access to my dad. And I'd come home and my dad'd be like, hey, how was school today? It was all right. Like, how did it go in Mr. P's class today? I'm like, oh God. And like, I remember these things because it's like direct line of sight there, involvement in here. Anyways, the town of Marysville to me has just always been like the launching pad and looking at various things. It's just like, we would always come home and the biggest gifts that my dad and my mom gave me is I can't remember a time where they were never at my sporting events. Like, my dad chose to get back. He was an insurance agent for a little bit. He did Twofold Nursery, but he was gone a lot. And he got back into teaching, not because there was a lot of money in teaching and still isn't. It's because he wanted those 3 months in the summer off, essentially, to spend with us. And he wanted to get home every day and spend time with us and make sure he was at sports. That is the biggest gift I've ever been given in the world because my parents were always there. And I think I'm doing my best to mirror that. I mean, real estate, you're always on, I think, but creating that time where it's just like, I need to be here with my family is so vitally important. And we've stayed in Marysville. Like, I wanted to go to Lake Stevens, and for whatever reason, when we put in offers on houses in the past, it's just like Marysville is where we get brought back to. A great story about this right now is a perfect perspective on things, and it goes like this. My youth pastor that brought me on my short mission trips from 2005 to 2008. I went to Costa Rica first year, 2005. 2006, we went to Pearlington, Mississippi after Hurricane Katrina. Looked like a damn third world country, stuff floating everywhere. It was crazy. Back to Costa Rica in 2007, and then Mazatlan, Mexico in 2008. That youth pastor of mine, Brandon, probably one of the most influential people in my life, got us out there, got us traveling. But when we went on these mission trips, they were not funded. We had to hustle, and we had to work, and we had to call up people and go and call people from church and go, hey, what do you guys got for us? We got gardening projects, whatever. I would always be the first one to call people. Brandon remembers that in his mind. And he calls me one day and goes, hey, we're thinking about selling our house here on Grove and here in Marysville. I said, okay, go out there, look at the place. I step in there and it's just this weird feeling. I can point out areas of the house where it's like, dude, that's where a chair went through the wall and it's patched, but that kind of that scar is still on the home. So I walked through there with my wife too, for whatever reason. She was there with me. I think I was like introducing her to Brandon or something, right? And I'm like, hey, doing my real estate thing. Hey, I think it's wise to chop down this tree so it's better visuals, for the drone. I think we should do this.
What year is this?
This was 2023.
Okay.
Yep, 2023. We go through it. Anyways, I get in there and it's just this weird feeling where I'm like, dude, I can't sell this house. I want to buy it. And so I break down the numbers, start talking to everybody, looking at things. And the hardest conversation was, hey, Brandon, I had to work up my courage. I don't want to sell your house. I want to buy your house. How does that look? So I remember like looking myself in the mirror, like trying to rehearse things, going, how can I go through this and have this conversation? Overthinking, classic overthinking thing. I call him up. Hey, Brandon, what if I didn't actually sell your house? What if I bought it? And he goes, oh, that's interesting. Tell me a little bit more about that. Like, I will go give you fair market value. We'll roll in a commission or whatever, and that will help me with the down payment. If I put together a market analysis for you that makes sense for you and Christina, is that something you guys would consider? You don't have to do anything to the house. You don't have to do any of the stuff I told you. I just want to buy it. So I'm freaking out because I finally had the conversation. My mortgage, based on what I was looking at, is going to be at least double now. So my wife's like, oh my God, is this an investment we should make? Right? And so I broke it down. I said, if we can rent our other house, it's going to offset, costs. So it's not really a $4,000 mortgage. It's really like $3,000, which is pretty manageable where we're at in our lives right now. She ran a business. I ran my business, which is obviously all over the place. Anyways, he comes back and he goes, yeah, we prayed about it. We'll let you buy the house. Work through it. Now that's been our house for the last 3 years. That house is way too big for us. And it's crazy the connections.
You have 2 kids?
I just have 1 kid.
Okay.
Yeah. Way too much room. We never needed that much room. And so we're in Thailand during this last trip. One sister lives in the US. She lives in Texas and she's actually flying in tomorrow. I get to go pick her up and she's going to come hang out for a week. During that trip, random things happen in her life. She got this call, and her biggest thing is she just needed money essentially to be able to allow her the freedom to move. She never really wanted to be in Texas. It's just where her roots got brought down when she was like 11. She had a refugee visa. Anyways, all that to say, she gets a call from the U.S. Army while we're in Thailand. Goes, hey, Saber passed away. This girl's tough as nails, right? She just is driven to move forward on things. She starts like tearing up a little bit. We end up having this 2-hour conversation, and she talks about how she's been taking care of this kid. By the way, she's lived paycheck to paycheck for the last 20 years. All that to say, he wiped out on his bike on Oahu. She had helped straighten him out and get him into the military. Things were going well. And a month prior, she had told him, hey, you need to take out a life insurance policy in case something were to happen to you. That life insurance policy, he put that in her name, which changed the aspect of her life and a trajectory of her life. That's now allowing her to move into the house that we have. So the house isn't so big anymore. It was the house that was meant for us, and now we're filling the rooms, and they're moving in with us for X amount.
They? Who's they?
It's Sutita's sister.
Okay.
And her 2 kids. So now all the rooms are full. That house was meant to be ours because of the situation. It just took 3 years for that thing to come into a circular motion.
Yeah. I have a similar story about Marysville. I used to want to move out. I moved from California to Washington.
We're in California.
Well, it was crazy because, because being a Navy brat, Tokyo, Yokosuka, Japan.
Yep.
Honolulu, Hawaii, San Diego, California, like these epic places. Marysville, Washington.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I always said I was going to move out too. I was going to move back to California since I was like 11 years old, forever and forever. And, fast forward now 30 years. I love Marysville. And I think about this story, The Alchemist. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Have you read it?
No.
Oh, yeah. But you understand the story?
No.
Well, the short version is he's a shepherd. He hears about these guys that can turn like coal into gold, right? Alchemists.
Okay.
So he's like, hey, forget this, poor lifestyle or whatever. I need to go get my riches. Let me go find these guys. Goes on this crazy journey, lots of adventures, lots of stories, meets all kinds of people, meets his wife. Okay. Never ends up finding the alchemists, or like, I think maybe he finds out like it's not even real. Goes back to where he first started his journey, where he thought, this ain't the life for me, on the rock that he was sitting when he made the decision to go on the search for the alchemist, under that rock was gold. And I think about that with Marysville. I think that's the case maybe everywhere. So when I see people that move, it's not for everyone. I think a lot of people, when they move away to seek something, a lot of times it's at home. You just don't know it. And because home represents your family, it represents your, community, it represents your relationships, and that is like a foundation that isn't physical,
right,
that you really kind of need. But the gold, so the idea is the riches you're looking for is right there underneath you. It's right there. And 100%. So many people go, and I see this actually with YouTubers a lot. They go to LA because they're going to get rich and famous, right? They're already like successful.
Yep.
How many of them have ended up moving back? Sure. And not even by choice. Like they have to, but it's like they don't move to another state or another place. They go back to where they first started, And so I feel that way about Marysville. So when you say it was a shitty place, I always describe it. My first job was picking strawberries.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's like, I call it.
Behringer?
Was the one where the soccer fields are. I forget.
Yeah,
it was Behringer.
Yeah,
Behringer.
Yeah.
I always forget it because there's a whole bunch. But but no, I describe Marysville as like podunk farm town north of Seattle, because I don't like to say Marysville, Washington a lot in my content.
Yeah.
Not because I'm a shade. I just don't want people to know, right? I just rep Seattle, but
yeah.
Okay, so anyways, and then so kind of what's kind of like the takeaway for you when you think about that journey that you went on?
I think the biggest thing, and I was out at that house yesterday, shooting some content and stuff, and I just started like bawling. And
which house specifically?
Up in top of the hill there.
Your dad's old house.
My dad's old house that we sold in 2020. Hardest transaction for my life because it was so emotional, right? But I just looked around and I'm filming stuff and I just start crying, man. It's just like the emotions hit. And it's like, this place was not just a home. It was like the safe zone. It's like you came back. I have the honor to have such a strong family and strong family ties and roots. My parents loved the shit out of me. And so coming home, one of the rules always coming home was we're going to have dinner at the table together. And so that's something I've translated into my life too, is phones down. Things have changed. Like we did not have these when we were that age, but we're not looking at that. We're spending time together. And I think that's important for our daughter to see that this is our life now. That's the biggest thing I think take away coming back from that journey is that place was a launching pad for everything in our life. It was where everyone was safe, is where my sister and I used to go on runs, down the hill through the park there to the YMCA. That'd be our warm up. We'd go through the park there. We'd come down here, we'd work out and we'd run back. It's like, there was no cars that we had. We didn't have the money to do that kind of stuff. And it wasn't, I don't have a story of, oh yeah, I was poor and stuff. I lived a good life and my dad taught me the right way is the way I look at things. I feel blessed to have had that house and have more than a lot of people. And it's allowed me to now, being taught from my dad, understand what things and what the worth of stuff is. And riches to people for a lot of these guys are fancy watches and the Lamborghinis. And most of the time those guys are releasing those anyways on social media. The riches for me is spending time, having time, seeing my parents. Having money is important to me because I wanted to do cool shit with my family. My dad, again, I think it comes from his roots, always wanted to go to Lambeau Field for a football game. So for 3 years, I saved an account. And it was the most joyful thing ever going, hey, Dad, we're going to go beat the Seahawks ass in this game. We're going to fly out to Lambeau. I've already paid for the room, the car. So there's no excuse now. If everything's paid for, we have to go. I have all those pictures on my wall. He has it on his wall. I will always remember that memory with my dad once he passes, because we're able to leverage the area that basically I live in. Marysville has been the launching pad. Love, joy, happiness, everything came from here, even through the pain.
Concussions, yeah.
Maybe that's like changed my trajectory a little bit. Maybe I was supposed to be a doctor, but I'm so like loopy that's why I'm doing what I do now. It's all just, these are our roots. So going away from that would almost be like wrong. And it's a interesting parallel for me, because it's like we spend a lot of time in Thailand and we want to be there. So maybe that's like the next goal, is like we do 3 on, 3 off, 3 on, 3 off. I don't know. I need to honor my wife too. She took the courage to come out here. So she left her family to be with mine, but that's an interesting thing to think about now. Yeah, I don't know what that looks like, but Marysville is where we call home now, and will for the foreseeable future, 100%. So this, I mean, I've shared with you, Benji, a lot of my perspectives of life and purposeful just pursuit of various things today. And the biggest thing I want to do is to be able to have people understand, know, like, and trust me. And if these things connect with you, like, and you're a motivated seller and you want to move forward with things, just call me, 425-750-5084. Talk about your story with me, because that's all I want to know, so I can get you to your next goal.